Shri Haraya Namaha. Welcome to everyone. We shall begin today's session now. So today is the 9th session of our course on fundamental principles of Tattvavaada. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Paramaguru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Adiguru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Mulaguru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Madananda Tirtha Bhagavat Padacharya Bhyo Namaha, Shri Vedavyasaya Namaha, Shri Bharatyai Namaha, Shri Saraswati Namaha, Shri Vayave Namaha, Shri Brahmane Namaha, Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Shri Narayanaya Namaha, Shri Haraya Namaha, Mokshaprada Shri Vasudevaya Namaha, Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Grantamudirayet. Narayanam Suragurum Jagadekanatham Bhakta Priyam Sakala Loka Namaskritam Cha Traigunya Varjitam Ajam Vibhumadhyamisham Vande Bhavagnamamara Surasiddha Vandyam. Avikaraya Shuddhaya Nityaya Paramatmane Sadeka Rupa Rupaya Vishnave Sarvajishnave Namo Hiranya Garbhaya Hare Shankaraya Cha Vasudevaya Taraya Sargasthityanta Karine Ekaneka Swarupaya Stula Sukshmatmane Namaha Avyakta Vyakta Rupaya Vishnave Mukti Hetave Sargasthiti Vinashanam Jagatosya Jaganmayaha Mula Bhuto Namastasmai Vishnave Paramatmane. So today in this, before starting this session, we actually have a couple of exciting announcements for all the participants of this course. So first of all, today we have released this translation of the 6th Amsha of the Vishnu Purana. So this is now available on our e-library at elib.bhaktideeds.org. So this is the complete English translation of the 6th Amsha of the Vishnu Purana with its 8 chapters and totally 490 shlokas. This book includes the Samskrita shlokas, their word-by-word meanings, their English translations, as well as elaborate explanations for those chapters and the contents of the Purana. Now, basically, this provides a foundation for on Vaishnava philosophy and Tattvavaada in general for those who are, especially for those who are beginners and who want to learn about philosophy but do not have much of an elaborate idea. And this particular Amsha actually has important content on Vaishnava philosophy in general, bhakti, and how one should practice sadhana, and the most basic fundamental philosophical knowledge which everyone needs to have. And also this has a lot of pramanas supporting Tattvavaada at many places, which have always been ignored by most of the commentators and other philosophers. And for a long time, the Vishnu Purana had a reputation that it supports Advaita philosophy especially. And there are many statements which apparently seem to support Advaita, and mainly the only Vaishnavas who propagated this properly were the Sri Vaishnavas. Other than them, most of the other Vaishnavas did not even bother to propagate or preach the Vishnu Purana or explain it and use its pramanas to prove their own philosophy. Though Sri Madhvacharya actually has quoted many shlokas from the Vishnu Purana in multiple works, especially his Gita Bhashya and Tatparya Nirnaya, and also his granthas like Krishnamrita Maharnava, where he quotes a couple of shlokas from the Vishnu Purana, and there are multiple others actually. And anyway, even in the Vishnu Tattva Vinirnaya, Sri Madhvacharya quotes the Vishnu Purana. But later on, this Purana has been ignored a lot. So we have done something like this for the first time, and we have now written an elaborate commentary on the Vishnu Purana, and we have published this, and we have also highlighted those parts which are especially important for beginners and for those who for those who have a basic idea but want to improve their knowledge and to learn the essence of Tattvavaada especially, and Vaishnavism, and how to practice bhakti, and to learn about Vishnu's supremacy and so many things. And there are many concepts such as the Devata Taratamya and many others which are directly supported here in this particular Amsha of the Vishnu Purana. It's basically a summary of almost all the Shastras and what all we need to learn. So you can provide your feedback and suggestions to our official email ID info@bhaktideeds.org as well. So this is the translation of the Vishnu Purana. This is available in digital format as a PDF on our e-library and on our main website also. The links are available there and one can download it from there. The Samskrita text is also available, and one can go to the Vishnu Purana page and go to download Samskrita text and select TXT to download the TXT file. And very soon we shall also upload this on our website, and we shall upload the same contents on our website for easy viewing, and so that people can view them in multiple scripts also. So moving on this regarding this course on Tattvavaada, we now have an exciting update. So due to popular demand and because our live sessions are not always attended by 90 people, we have decided to reopen registrations, and as always everyone can watch the recordings of the sessions, and in between we shall conduct assessments for all the participants, and whoever qualifies and gains at least 60% of the total score in all these assessments will receive a certificate of completion, and there will be no limit on the number of attempts for taking up this assessment. So these are our updates. So those who are interested can register now and join in. But they'll have to review the new participants will have to review all the previous sessions which have been done so far if they haven't, and then they must proceed with the next sessions. And also we shall be issuing certificates of completion to the participants who qualify, as we said, and those who are interested can share the details about this course with others they may know or who may want to attend this course. And another update we have is that Shri Vishwadiraja Tirtha Swamiji will be attending this event at Shri Puttige Mata in Bangalore. So at the Basavanagudi branch of Shri Puttige Mata, whoever can attend on 8th March, that is next Saturday, this we will not have a session on this course on Tattvavaada on that day because Swamiji will be busy with this one. So there is a book launch, and here the guests include Shri Vishwadiraja Tirtha Swamiji, as well as even Shriman Rohit Chakratirtha, who is a very famous author and expert in philosophy and especially Madhva Siddhanta, and he writes a lot on Indic philosophies in general, and was even one of the heads of the textbook committees in the Karnataka Education Board. So this will be on 8th March, that is next Saturday, which is the second Saturday. So whoever is at Bengaluru or can come here are requested to attend this in large numbers, and you may get to meet Sri Vishwadiraja Tirtharu in person also here. And the event will be mainly in Kannada, so but even if those who aren't very good at or fluent in Kannada can also still attend the event, because you will gain a lot of exposure, and the books we here will be given at a discounted price as well. So coming to today's topic, so today we shall be discussing about Tattva Sankhyaana. So this is one of the major granthas of Sri Madhvacharya, and this is and Sri Vinayacharya, a reputed Vidwan from Bengaluru, is having a project to translate this book of not just this book but multiple books of Sri Madhvacharya, all the Sarvamula Granthas as we call them, which we had discussed in the previous sessions as well. So this book called Tattva Sankhyaana is very important, and if most of you here recall, we had actually made a YouTube video on the strongest argument for the existence of God based on what Sri Madhvacharya said in Tattva Sankhyaana. So basically this is where the arguments were taken from, and its commentary by Jayatirtharu. So this has been actually commented upon by numerous Madhva Purvacharyas, including Sri Jayatirtha, then Sri Raghutama Tirtharu, and even Sri Padmanabha Tirtharu. So there are multiple commentaries on Tattva Sankhyaana, and here this book actually deals with the Tattvas, their relationship and how they are, and basically the existence of this entire universe as such. So this is where the concept of God and the Supreme Being and everything else comes into picture, just like the Brahma Sutras and Anuvyakhyana and other commentaries on them. So this is basically a summarized version with a small number of shlokas, but here the commentaries on them elaborately explain everything about philosophy which are required. So today we shall discuss about the various tattvas and their relationship. So this is a flowchart which has been made by Sri Vinayacharya at the end of his book. So this book which we have shown is the first translation in the series of the Sarvamula Grantha series. So here this has a English translation, commentary and critical study by Dr. Vinayacharya. So he has done an excellent job translating this. There are more such books available like Katha Lakshanam and others which are going to be translated soon, including the Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya and even the Bhagavata Tatparya Nirnaya. All of these will be translated into English, and these and few other books are already available. One can find them on websites like Amazon.in as well, and there they will be available. And those who are in and around Karnataka, especially Bengaluru, can visit bookstores like Vedanta Book House, where this will be available for a discounted price as well. So coming to this, so here is the flowchart. So this summarizes the contents of Tattva Sankhya and all the tattvas which are there in this universe, especially as per the point of view of Tattvavaada. So here we have the Swatantram. Here the tattvas basically are first divided into Swatantram and Aswatantram. In the very first shloka of Tattva Sankhya, if anyone here recalls, even in our YouTube video on the strongest argument for the existence of God, we had said Swatantram Aswatantram cha dvividham tattvam ishyate. The independent and the dependent, these two tattvas are known to exist. They are accepted by the completely intelligent people. So here Swatantra, which means independent, even in the first few sessions we had discussed, it is Bhagwan alone who is independent. So Swatantram includes Bhagwan Vishnu. So the next one is Aswatantra. Everything else is Aswatantra or independent or non-independent, because they are dependent on Vishnu. So they are all dependent. But Swatantra is Vishnu alone. So next, Bhavaha and Abhavaha. So here Bhavaha means those which have emotions, or mainly now Bhava doesn't simply mean just emotion as such. It refers to the entities which have a certain existence or which have certain properties. So here we have Chetana and Achetana. So in Chetana we have Dukha Sprishtam, which means untouched by Dukha or sorrow. So here we have Ramadevi, that is Lakshmi Devi. She is Chetana. She is not independent. She is not Bhagwan. She is not Parabrahman herself. Parabrahman is Vishnu, but Lakshmi Devi isn't Parabrahman because she is dependent on him, because she is the Devi of Mula Prakriti. As said in the Mahanarayana Upanishad also, that is the 10th Prapataka of the Taittiriya Aranyaka, there is one mantra which says that even the Prakriti, the Mula Prakriti, which is responsible for the very existence of all the entities in the material world, she herself derives her existence from Bhagwan. That's why she is still not independent. The same thing is actually said in the Bhagavad Gita also, especially towards the 14th Adhyaya and even the 15th Adhyaya. So there too, in the 15th Adhyaya especially, there are a few shlokas where Krishna himself says that Purusha Dvayam Asti Loke, which means that in this loka there are only two persons, that is Shara and Akshara. Now Shara are the Jivas, the living entities. Akshara is Lakshmi Devi, Prakriti, the Devi of Mula Prakriti. She is said to be imperishable because she doesn't go any of the changes in samsara, or she doesn't face birth and death. She is not at all in samsara, and in fact she has the ability to provide moksha also. But the Uttama Purusha, that is who is the Supreme Purusha, the Supreme Person, is Bhagwan, Vishnu, who is beyond both. He is beyond Shara and Akshara. He is superior to both of them. So he is a separate category. So similarly we have, so basically we have these separate categories of beings. There are mainly three here. So Swatantra, among the conscious beings basically. So Swatantra is Bhagavan Vishnu, who is Purushottama. The next Purusha is Prakriti, and the third Purusha are the Jivas. Now here Purusha does not mean man or male at all. Now this is one confusion which many people will have and will be thinking that Purusha means man or male, but that's not what it actually means. It actually means person. That's why here even Lakshmi Devi is said to be Purusha, a person. And even the Jivas, which actually have no gender, but there is something called Swabhavika Linga, or the Swabhava of the Jiva, which determines whether it is male or female. Now, that is a separate concept totally, so we will not discuss that right now and confuse everyone. So, we shall discuss that sometime later. And anyway, so basically, we so here we have these three beings among the conscious beings. So now moving on, we have here among the Chetana, the conscious beings, Chetanam. Here we have Dukha Sprushtam, that is Lakshmi Devi. She is free from Dukha, she is free from sorrow, and she is free from all the defects which the Jivas have. So therefore, she is not a Jivatma, but she is also not Paramatma. She is a separate category altogether, who is still dependent on Paramatma, and so she is Asvatantra. Now the Dukha Sprushtam, that is the Anya Jivaha, which means the other Jivas. So all the other Jivatmas, they are all untouched by they are all touched by sorrow, they are touched by miseries, they are all they are in samsara, they aren't mukta, they are not liberated from the material world. So here we have the
Hare Srinivas Purata, I have a doubt.
Yes.
So my doubt is that is even Mukhya Prana liable to sorrow or misery?
Kind of. Here it means he is not totally immune to that. Mukhya Pranadeva and Brahmadeva are not 100% immune to that, but usually they are unaffected by it. But they are not totally free from it, and there is always a possibility, though it doesn't happen, but that possibility is there. So it's like a person
Okay,
who, give a better explanation,
so what I can say from that is that Vayu Tattva is prone to it, but it doesn't happen. But Lakshmi Tattva isn't prone to it at all.
Yes.
Shri Tattva. Okay, okay, brother.
Basically, Brahma and Vayu are the presiding devatas of Mahat Tattva. So they are also still living beings in this material world, and they are not Mukta Jivas. So they similarly Adishesha, Garuda, Shiva, all these beings, they are all not, they are all Jivatmas who are in samsara right now. So they will be prone to defects here and there. But among them, the topmost are Mukhya Pranadeva and Brahmadeva, who are least prone to that. So here we have the different beings. Here we have Naraha at the end, which here Vimuktaha means that they are eligible for moksha. So
Brother, another doubt. Are only Narayana and Lakshmi Devi Nitya Mukta? No one else, right?
No one else is Nitya Mukta. No one else can be Nitya Mukta as such, because at one point of time, every other being has been in samsara. They have been in samsara at one point of time, and they have done some sadhana to achieve moksha. So here Vimuktaha means those jivas who have been eligible for moksha, and they have completed their sadhana, and they are liberated beings. So here we have all the devatas, rishis, and the human beings. The human beings are the last ones in the category. So here these are the ones who have achieved moksha already, and they are at Vaikunta. But still, again, now at Vaikunta they are not susceptible to sorrow and other emotions, but still they are, the possibility is there, because they are not completely immune to that, unlike Lakshmi Devi or Bhagavan Vishnu. So, so to give a better example, since many of you may have this doubt here, so basically the concept of Dukha Sprishtam and Dukha Sprishtam is basically something like you have a person who is vaccinated against a disease, say hepatitis B, tuberculosis, or most of the common disease for which we have vaccinations and we give vaccinations, tetanus. So now it doesn't mean that the person, there is no chance of that person being infected by these diseases. But because the person has taken the vaccine, he is no longer infected by those diseases. And if he also avoids exposing himself to places where those pathogens will be there, and maintains his immunity even if he is exposed. Now, because of the vaccines and his own immunity and his health and lifestyle, he is totally immune to them. He won't be affected by them at all, even if he comes in contact with the microorganisms which cause those diseases. But it doesn't mean that if at all he loses his immunity and he was unvaccinated, it doesn't mean that he will still be immune to them. He will get infected at that point of time. So same is the case here. with all the devatas and all these beings, even after moksha, now they won't have any exposure to these, but they're not totally immune to that, or it is not that they'll be unaffected by them at all. Now, unlike them, Lakshmi Devi is totally unaffected by any of these negative emotions and negative qualities. So, hope I made that clear here. Okay, so moving on. Now, the Dukkha Samstaha, here this category is now having two categories again. Now, these are the jivas currently in samsara. So, these are the jivas currently in samsara, Mukti Yogya and Mukti Ayogya. These are two categories here. The same flowchart has been given even in IAST in an Englishized format of Samskrita. For those who are unable to read Devanagari, they can refer to this flowchart, and whoever wants can take a screenshot for now. Because I will go back now to the previous slide where we have the same flowchart in Devanagari. So here it is Mukti Yogya and Muktya Yogya, which means Mukti Ayogya, those who are ineligible for Mukti. So here among the Mukti Yogyas, again we have the same categories of beings, starting from the Devatas, that is mainly from Brahma, Vayu, then the next category is Bharati Devi, Saraswati Devi, then Shiva, Garuda, Shesha, and then Parvati Devi, Varuni, and all the other Devis, still the human beings. Now, among the human beings, we have categories like, now all these categories can also be further divided. That is the elaborate Taratamya which we have in our philosophy. We will not deal with that right away here, but for now we are giving this basic explanation. So, it ends with the human beings. Manushyottamas, who are the best among the human beings, who are Devata-like human beings. So they are eligible for moksha, because naturally by their swabhava they are people who are sattvic by nature and who are sattvika minded people who like being having a sattvika lifestyle, and they are naturally attracted towards that. Now it's not that simply by observing someone we can ascertain their swabhava, but over time by seeing their reaction to different situations. Basically, swabhava is what defines one's nature and personality and how they react to different situations. So same is the case here. With time we can observe and we can guess or estimate their qualities as to whether they are sattvikas, rajasikas or tamasikas. Now among the Mukti Ayogyas, we have Tamoyogyas, that is those who deserve Andantamas, who are extreme adharmis. Now here among them we also have another category, Sthruti Samsthitaha, that is Nitya Samsarinaha, the Nitya Samsarins. These people are again those who will eternally remain in samsara. They are extremely materialistic and they love materialism a lot. They only value materialistic relationships. They're selfish. Finally, they're very selfish minded. They care only about themselves and their personal wealth, their benefits finally. But they are not extreme adharmis that they love to harm others. The Tamoyogyas are one category who like to harm others, and their agenda is to harm others actually. So the Tamoyogyas, they are those who like to harm others. So Prapta Andantamasaha, which means those who have attained Andantamas, the Daityas, Rakshasas, the Pishachis, and Martya Dhamaha, the lowest among the mortals. So these Martya Dhamaha, which means the Adhama Manushyas, the lowest among the human beings, they are asura-like human beings who are tamasika jivas but are human beings by swabhava, but nonetheless they are tamasikas. They are deviated towards tamoguna and they deserve andantamas. Now, Sruti Samsthitaha. This category, again, the same beings are included here. Daityas. Here there is a mistake, I guess. The word Daitya has been repeated twice. The next one will be the Rakshasas, then the Pishachis, and the lowest among the human beings, Martya Dhamaha. So these are the beings here. Now these Nitya Samsarins, they are these Nitya Samsarins or the Rajasika Jivas, they are the pure human beings. They are not Devata-like human beings or Asura-like human beings. So they are the pure human beings who love only materialistic possessions, and due to their swabhava, their personality is like that. Swabhava is basically, as we discussed previously, what defines one's personality or what defines what they are. So here these people are like this. They just love materialistic things and they do not value anything else. So now, moving on. So I guess till now, any doubts so far?
Hare Rama Pratyar.
Harish
I
Srinivas, yeah.
have a few questions.
Sure, please go ahead.
One person earlier also asked regarding Brahma and Pranavayu Deva, how they experience dukkha in this samsara. Because our all experiences spring from either of the three, either Swabhava, Urva Karma, or the other influences, Prakritic influences. So Brahma and Pranavayu Deva's Swabhava, they are the pure Rijugana. So their
Yes,
Swabhava is pure. And
definitely.
their Purva Karma is also, they don't have such Purva Karma, due to which they would experience Dukkha. And they are so powerful. They are the topmost jivas of the universe that no other Deva or any other entity can either influence them. So how do they experience Dukkha and due to what reasons they experience Dukkha?
They don't exactly experience dukkha as such. They exhibit it as their leela or for just to perform seva for Bhagwan. Now again, the same example which I said is applicable here. It's like a human being
Brother, I
make.
guess I have an answer for this. The thing is that samsara, being in samsara itself is a kind of dukkha, I guess. Is they're considering that as dukkha or something.
Yes, that is also one category of dukkha only. Because in samsara, one is tormented by birth and death all the time. In any loka which you go to, that is also there. But more than that, these people are usually immune to that. So it's like they are unaffected by that. But still, nonetheless, since they are not, it's not that they are totally. You cannot say that they will be unaffected by it at any cost. Theoretically they could be. So because of that defect in them, they are not considered as the uttama jivas. I mean, they are not, they are considered jivottamas, but they are still jivas. They are not beyond that. They are not beyond that category of dukkha sprushta. They are still touched by sorrows. Means they are touched by the sorrows and the defects of samsara.
Okay, Pratha, understood. My second question is regarding, like you said, even after attaining moksha, one can experience dukkha, like one is vaccinated, but one is not 100% sure that they won't catch any disease. So, how in moksha an entity experiences dukkha? Because the only thing that they experience is their own swabhava, innate nature. There is no possibility, there should not be any possibility of dukkha at that time.
There is no possibility of them experiencing dukkha. What I meant is, I think you didn't get it correctly. Basically, those jivas who have attained moksha, they will. It's like a person with good immunity and vaccination, and such a person is unaffected by the disease. So here, see, basically, a human being can be affected by diseases, but because if they of maintaining their immunity and their health in general, they won't be. So same is the case with those jivas who have attained moksha. There, it is like a sterile environment. You just like when there are no microbes at all in a sterile environment. So similarly, we have. So here, those who attain moksha, they will not at all have any influence of anything other than sattva and ananda. So here they will only experience ananda there, but the possibility is there. But again, they don't experience it there because there is no chance of that happening, because there is no dukkha there at all. Did you get the point?
Understood. Thank you.
So yes,
And
yeah.
my
So
What's your?
jivas
last
are
question.
capable of gaining dukkha, but in that state they don't get. That's all, right, brother?
Yes, that's what it means.
Okay,
What's your
understood.
next
Thank you.
question?
My next question is regarding the Tamo Yogya Jivas. You said, once they attain the Andhan Tamas or even the Nitya Samsarans, do they ever attain their own Swabhava? I mean, let alone attaining moksha, but do they attain their Swabhava? Or is it like they uh, keep on being born again and again?
Being born
There's
again and again itself is their swabhava, I think.
yes,
Sorry, brother, for interfere.
that itself is their swabhava for the Rajasikas. For the Tamasikas, it is attaining Andantamas. When they become extreme adharmis, that is what they really enjoy. When they realize they enjoy that, if you, I think in the last session also we had mentioned that, basically Duryodhana in the Mahabharata actually says this at one point, even after realizing so much and seeing so many situations and even meeting Bhagwan Krishna himself, he finally says that I know what is dharma, what is adharma. I have understood. I know what causes harm to others, what doesn't. But I like adharma. I still like that. That is swabhava. One's what one truly likes from their heart or dislikes from their heart. That is swabhava. For the sattvikas, they're just like that. They love practicing bhakti. They have the qualities of sattva. They love causing non-injury to others. They love being open-minded. So they naturally deserve moksha because they deserve it because they commit karmas. The majority of karmas which they commit are sattvika, which are beneficial to others, which cause least harm to others. The tamasikas, in their case, it is the opposite, the complete opposite. So their swabhava itself is to become extreme adharmis, and once they become that, they reach one point where they totally deserve Andantamas. Did you get that?
Yes, I understood. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Aniket, you can ask your question. Aniket, you can ask your question now. Okay, Devansh, you can ask your question.
Hare Krishna, brother.
Hare
Uh,
Krishna.
this is actually my first lecture on Zoom call. I could not attend the previous ones due to some technical issue, and I wasn't added in the group.
Yeah, I
Thank you for
know.
adding me in the group. My question was regarding the first video of dependence, the in which you stated that independent there are independent entities and there are dependent entities. So God has to exist because there would be infinite regress if there is no independent entity. Am I
Correct.
right?
Yes.
But isn't the infinite regress applicable in the case of Jiva and his karma? As in the Jiva is eternal, and his karma is also eternal. So, so through the karma of previous birth, one gets a body in another in his next birth.
Jiva's
So,
karma is
isn't
not
that
eternal, Pratha. Devansh Pratha.
Yes.
yes? Okay.
Jiva's karma is actually eternal because it has a fixed amount of karmas since eternity.
But Brata, I read in Naya
Yes.
Sudha today itself that the initial covering of Jiva by Maya, this is there in Naya Sudha Brata, that it happened and then the Jiva started to do karma. There was a point of time when Jiva started to do karma.
Yes, but it does have a certain amount of karma actually. That is always there since eternity. So can
That
you
is
quote the
Prarabdha
exact?
karma, no Brata, no,
But
different from normal karma.
Can you please quote the exact location reference from Nyaya Sudha? Please post it in the group and we'll get back later. We'll check what that is.
Yes, Brata. I read it from B.N. Sharma's translation, Brata. I'll just
Yeah, please
share
send
the
us the
screenshot.
page number of that.
Yes, Brata.
yes, brother. So what I was saying is ki there is a given stock of karma which is there since eternity, but that stock of karma came because of the actions of the jiva in its previous life. So there has to be there is some infinite regress in that case as well, right? We have to
See,
accept it in
you're
that case.
confusing two unrelated things here, first of all. Basically, the argument for God, which we gave in that video, was about existence. It is not about it anything being eternal or not. Actually, many people had this confusion. So, to clear it for once now, basically, that video, we spoke about the jivas being I mean the jivas and all the physical matter depending upon Bhagavan, who is the root cause. He is the sarva karana karana, the cause of all causes of he causes the existence of everything. He is that point where beyond him there is in that hierarchy of dependencies, in that chain of dependencies, beyond him there is nothing he is dependent upon. but everything depends upon him as we go in that order of separating every object which we have, because every object is a composite entity which we see here. So it is made up of parts. So as we split those parts and go deeper and deeper, finally at one point we reach Bhagwan, and he is the last one. He is the root cause of everything. Is that clear?
Yes, Swamiji. Thank
Okay,
you.
so moving on, now what we are saying is, now coming to the karma of the jivas being eternal, or the jivas themselves being eternal, that has no connection here, because since eternity, so and so objects exist. So for example, suppose since eternity one few atoms or molecules exist. Let's just suppose theoretically. So what we can say is, since eternity the molecules depends on its individual atoms, and the atoms depend on their electrons and protons and other subatomic particles, and so the chain goes on and they depend on Bhagwan. So this has been answered by Sri Jayatirtharu actually in one of his granthas, probably Nyayasudha if I remember correctly. And here he explains that since the eternal entities who are eternal, who exist since eternity, they depend on Bhagwan for their existence since eternity, and the transient entities who are not eternal also depend on Bhagwan, and because of him they are non-eternal. So this is the simple answer for the confusion which has been caused. So is that clear now?
Okay. Okay.
So
Thank
same
you.
is the case with the jivas. They have certain XYZ karmas and they exist since eternity just like that, in that same manner.
Okay. Thank you.
Next person, please.
Hari Srinivasa Bhrata.
Hare Srinivasa.
Yeah, so I was asking that what's the difference between moksha and attaining aproksha gyan? Is there any difference?
Yes, moksha is the byproduct of aparoksha jnana, basically, in simple terms. So aparoksha jnana is that end stage of total spiritual enlightenment, which is stated in the Shastras. Now, today we have published this translation of the sixth amsha of the Vishnu Purana. You can refer to the 5th, 6th and 7th adhyayas elaborately. It's actually around 100 pages totally, but they are the most important chapters which deal with bhakti, how to obtain jnana, and especially aparoksha jnana, and how to perform sadhana, how to perform dhyana of Bhagwan. So we request everyone here to refer to that first, and we advise everyone to finish the whole book also, because that deals with a lot of content which is relevant to our philosophy in general. So you can refer to that. So aparoksha jnana is where the person is in that state of firm bhakti and he has absolute spiritual knowledge. So that person then he or she will be in that state where no matter what actions they do, if they're living like a materialist, they will perform karma yoga perfectly. They will always have their mind focused on Bhagavan with every thought and every breath. So because of that, they are almost guaranteed to attain moksha after that janma of theirs. So because of that, usually even in the Vishnu Purana it is said, one who attains that state of dharana, and at one point in the 7th adhyaya it's actually stated, basically it refers to aparoksha jnana, such people will attain moksha within one janma itself. Even in the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, Sri Madhvacharya says the same thing, somewhere in the 3rd or 4th adhyaya. So such people, or else if they don't attain moksha, it may be due to excess prarabdha karmas, but that will be exhausted soon for aparoksha jnanis. So in rare cases, their moksha may get delayed, but soon they will attain moksha. But again, that is the end stage. Any more questions?
So there are lives even after attaining aproksha gyan.
Could you repeat?
So is the life possible after gaining aproksha gyan?
Definitely. Aparoksha jnana is that stage where they execute all their duties and all actions perfectly.
Okay, Bhrata, dhanyavad.
Even the
Brother, I have sent it in group. Shared it in group, and what Jaitirthu is saying is that there needs to be an initial obscuring element that made jivas to that made that prevents jivas from self luminosity of their swarupa. That is maya or avidya caused by Bhagwan's will. Achintya Adbhuta Shakti of Bhagwan.
yes, that is correct. We'll check the exact reference and get back to you on that, probably in the next session.
Yes, brother. I've shared the screenshots, brother, in group.
Sure, we will
Of Nyaya
take a
Sutra.
look at that. Okay, any more questions?
Harish Srinivas.
Harish Srinivasan.
I had a small query like when Satvika Jivas come to Samsara at the starting of the Kalpa, do they will they have karma even when they are not manifested?
Yes, that will be there for all jivas basically. That is why they are jivatmas, and they are in samsara, and they are dukkha sprushta, touched by dukkha.
Okay, brother.
Any more queries?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
My question is that the material nature, in the material world, we suffer due to the material qualities like Rajasic, Tamasic, and Sattvic gunas. But when we attain the Sattvic, when the Sattvic Jivas attain the Parampadam, so there is no material qualities in the Dham. And even the Bhagavan says, even the Bhagavatam says that even the Satyalok is devoid of the three material qualities. So how is even misery possible where the source of the misery, which is the three qualities of the nature, is not present?
Where is the misery in Vaikunta, in Paramapadam, first of all? That is what we've been saying, that there is no misery there, but those jivas are those who are susceptible to misery. They're prone to that. But if you bring for example, if there is a person who has, as we said, a human being is susceptible to disease. But if you put that person in a sterile environment with no exposure to the microorganisms, there is no possibility of that person developing an infection. So same is the case here. Do you understand now?
Yes, somewhat I understood. Thank you so much.
So there was one query here. Some have the concept of Nitya Muktas in Vaikunta who are never in the material world. Do you have any comments on the above concept? So basically this Nitya Mukta Jivas, this is a concept of Sri Vaishnava philosophies. They call them the Nitya Suris. Actually, there is one mantra in the Rig Veda which says, and it's repeated in the 7th adhyaya, sorry, not the 7th one, the 5th adhyaya of the 6th Amsha of the Vishnu Purana, which we've published also, that Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayaha. The Suris always see that that Paramapada, the supreme abode of Sri Vishnu. So here basically the Suris are the Aparoksha Jnanis, or the Devatas, the Rishis, and all of those people. Now we do not have the concept of those Nitya Suris. The Sri Vaishnavas believe that there is one concept called Nitya Suris. Basically, Garuda, Adishesha, Hanuman, and these Sudarshana, all these devatas, they are the Nitya Suris who have always been in Vaikunta, and they have attained moksha, and they are specific jivas who are in that position as those devatas, and they cannot. They have never been in samsara at all. Now we do not have that belief as per as the jivas who are Shesha, Garuda, and all of them. Even the Jivottama like Brahma and Vayu, they are also those who are in samsara only. They still haven't attained moksha yet. Even now, the jivas like Garuda, Shesha, and all others who reside at Vaikunta, they are residing at Shweta Dvipa actually, and they are not mukta actually. Any more questions? Vikas, do you have any questions?
Yes, brother, that itself. Sorry if I'm bothering with the same question so many times. What I'm saying is that you said that karma is non-eternal, right? I read the pages again, and it's saying that karma is actually. Sorry, you're saying that karma is eternal. I read the pages of Nyasudha again. It's saying that karma is non-eternal, and the first caused by Maya or Avidya, something like that. It is saying, brother. Please.
Yeah, we'll check that and let you know later.
Okay, brother. Next time. Okay, next lecture.
Okay, so moving on, basically here we have, so till now we explained about the Chetana entities, the conscious entities, Chetanam, which come under the category of Chetana. Now we shall move on to Achetana. So in the category of Achetana, we have Nityam, Nitya Nityam Anityam. So Nityam means eternal, Nitya Nityam means kind of eternal and non-eternal. Basically, it is susceptible to certain changes in between. So they undergo modifications and mutations here and there, so they are not eternal in their exact sense. And then we have Anitya, which means transient. They can be created or destroyed. So here we have among Nityam we have uh, Vedas and the other things here, like Pancha Shad Varnaha Avyakrita Akashah. So these are the eternal entities, and here among Nitya Nityam we have Purana Adyaha, which means the Puranas and the other entities, the other Shastras basically. Puranas, Pancharatra, Itihasas like Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these, they actually eternally exist. Their knowledge is eternal. Whatever they preach is eternal, but the shlokas, the exact sentence structure will vary every time. And every time a new Vyasa will come and compile them. And Kala, time. So time is again Nitya Anitya. It has been existing since eternity, but every flow of time, every event which takes place at a certain point of time is different. And Prakriti, the physical matter, basically, which comprises the whole universe, the root of it. So that is again Nitya Anitya, because it is eternal, it exists eternally, but it undergoes a lot of mutations and changes and modifications in between. Now, among here among Anitya we have Asamsprishta and Samsprishta. So Asamsprishta are the untouchable or the non-tangible entities. So those which we cannot touch or feel, they are not having a separate physical existence as such, but they exist in the material world. Basically, Mahat Tattva, Ahankara, Buddhi, Manas, Indriyani Dasha, the 10 senses or the 10 Indriyas, and all these, the Tanmatras, the 5 Tanmatras and the 5 Panchabhutas. The Panchabhutas or the 5 Bhutas, all these. And then we have Samsprishta, which are the tangible entities, the Brahmanda, Tad Antargatam Sarvam, everything inside the Brahmanda. So this is basically the entire flowchart which shows the tattvas, and these have been published in Sri Vinayacharya's translation of Tattva Sankhya at the end, and we have taken this photograph from there. So Shri Krishna Arpanamastu, Achyutaya Namaha, Anantaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha. So that's all for now for this brief presentation. Now Shri Vishwadiraja Tirtharu may join us briefly here. So any more questions till now?
Bhrata, what is Avyakrita Akasha? What is Avyakrita Akasha?
We will get back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so your doubt was about what is Avyakrita Akasha. So basically, that is just the. So basically, that is the uncreated or the root of the universe. Basically, something it's like the kind of energy which envelops the universe and that does not undergo any modifications or changes as such. That is one concept among the tattvas. Did anyone ask any other questions here in between? We were
Why is it
disconnected
called
briefly for a
Akasha,
while.
brother? Akasha.
What?
Why is it called Akasha? Avyakrita Akasha. Akasha.
Basically, it's a part of space, the cosmos.
Okay, okay. And another thing is all of this tattvas elaborated. I mean, elaborated and explained in Tattva Sankhya, brother.
Yes, yes. In the translation, if you read the book by Sri Vinayacharya, you can find that.
Okay, brother. Thank you.
Any more queries by anyone? So if no one else has any more questions, we'll end the session here. Shri Vishwadiraja Tirtharu will not be able to join us today. He may come probably tomorrow. And we will confirm and let everyone know in the group whether the session will be there. And tomorrow, most probably, we will have a session discussing the units of time and the concept of time in general as per the philosophy of Vedanta, especially Tattvavaada. So, we once again request everyone here to refer to our translation of the Vishnu Purana, which we have released today. This sixth Amsha is especially important to learn about the basics of Vaishnava philosophy in general and to learn about Tattvavaada also, because here in this we have also explained everything in accordance to Tattvavaada, and we have highlighted those shlokas especially which have supported most vital concepts of Tattvavaada. And we also would request everyone to those who are in Bengaluru especially to come and to come to the event at Puttige Mata next week on Saturday. It's a second Saturday, so we assume most will have holidays and will be free. So as many people as possible should attend the event. And also again we request everyone to seriously perform Shastra Adhyayana of the Vishnu Purana as well, and other publications as and when we publish them. So Shastra Adhyayana is especially important. The process of thoroughly understanding, contemplating and remembering and chanting the shlokas of the Shastras. So simply reading the translations especially is not going to be beneficial. So simply do not refer to the translations. And we have explained all those instructions elaborately in the initial sections just after our Guru Parampara, and we have given Shastra Adhyayana guidelines as well. These will be there in almost all of our publications of the Shastra Granthas. So make sure that all of you follow that, and don't care about how much time it will take for you to learn it completely or to understand it, because learning properly is more important than simply mugging up or trying to memorize all of it completely. So that's all for now, and once again we would like to ask whether anyone has any questions. So on YouTube we have a query that does our philosophy accept the Sada Shiva form mentioned in Padma Samhita? Basically, as per us, we do not have any concept of Sadashiva, Parashiva, or anything. We just have the concept of one Rudra and his 11 expansions, who are the 11 Rudras of Swargaloka. And he also, one of his forms is Kalagni Rudra, who performs Pralaya. And he is the Rudra Deva, is the Devata of Manastattva. We do not have the concepts of Sadashiva, Parashiva, because those are mainly Shaiva and Shakta concepts. Yes, that is correct.
So,
The Jiva will have
Pancharatra Tattvas
some.
can be elaborated to.
Yes, Jivas come only once into samsara.
But then, Bhrata, if they come under the 91 tattvas of Pancharatra, then they come under our philosophy, right? Then
What exactly?
Sadashiva, Parashiva, etc. They come under the 91 tattvas, right, of Pancharatra.
First of all, there is no fixed number of tattvas as such. Broadly, there are 25 and they can be divided into 58, 91, depends on how the Shastras describe them. Now
Yes,
here,
Bhrata. So, Parashiva, Sadashiva can be harmonized with those 91 qualities. No.
depends on how you define Sadashiva, Parashiva, and if you go with the Shaiva concepts of chakras and all that, no, we strictly do not have such concepts. We believe that those Shastras were, again, as said previously, they are Moha Shastras. Just as the Puranas which deviate from Vaishnavism, they were composed to delude the non-Satvikas, and they're basically Moha Shastras as explained in the Varaha and Padma Puranas, and they're in Darshana Bhasha mainly, explaining from the point of view of other philosophies or what those rishis felt. That doesn't mean it's necessarily true.
Yes,
So same
Bhrata,
is the case here.
But even in Dasapadas, Lord Shiva is mentioned so many times as Sadashiva, and there are even depictions, depictions of five-headed Shiva,
Shiva is
similar depiction
Panchamukha
of
only,
Sadashiva.
and one of his names is Sadashiva. Rudra Deva is Panchamukha only. That's one of his major forms worshipped at most of the Madhva temples also. But that
So that is
doesn't
what
mean
what they describe as Sadashiva, right? Five-headed and known as Sadashiva.
they have their concept of Sadashiva is different. They not only say that Shiva has 5 heads, they say that the Shaivas say that so many things, that Sadashiva is higher than Brahma and Vishnu also, and he
That I
presides.
know, Brata, but he looks. He's denoted and looks similar to what we believe in, right? Same Shiva.
No, the depiction is same, but in their philosophy you will find the same iconography for almost multiple forms of Shiva actually. See, we do not accept their concepts of their concept of Shiva and how they.
Yes, Brata. I'm not talking about concepts. I'm talking about the depictions and
iconography
names
will
to
be
be
similar,
precise.
obviously.
Okay,
Iconography
okay,
is
that's
common
what.
to almost all the different darshanas. Even Vishnu's Vyuha forms also will be accepted by them because that's there in the Shastras.
Yes, Brata. Okay, thank you. Harish Srinivasa, Brata.
Harish Nivasa. Devansh, do you have any queries? Your hand is raised.
So sorry, brother.
Okay, so if no one has any queries here or any questions so far, then we shall end the session now. So thank you all for attending. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Achyutaya Namaha, Anantaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha, Achyutananta Govindebhyo Namo Namaha.